There you are. Hi.
Hi.
All right. It's starting to record now. So there we go. All right. 2 minutes to. Hello, everybody who's joining us. I feel I should play a little music if we're going to be sitting here for 2 minutes. Oh, we only have a minute left. It's not too bad. I suggest everybody grab some water, grab a drink. It's always a good excuse to get through your bottle of water while you're listening to a seminar. I'm going to mute you, Jen. There we go. I got my tea and my water. I'm set to go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. All right, we got another minute here and then we'll get started right away. Good evening, Mary. And Elviri, I think that's how you say that, from Whitby. Hello, Carrie. That's how you say that. Hello, everybody. All right, it is 7 o'clock. Your time, 4 o'clock my time out here in BC. I'm coming to you live from Vancouver. So tonight we're talking about flexible fasting. First off, I want to thank Healthy Planet for having me here tonight to discuss this with you. This is a topic dear to my heart, and I really love the topic because I use this on a day-to-day basis in my own life and have had great success with it. Before we get started, I'm going to let you know I have Jen. She's a registered dietitian. She's from Prairie Naturals. She's going to be monitoring the chat room. So any questions, Jen is there and ready to answer. She understands, she's done this seminar with me, and she also knows the products if we're going to be talking about products later. So she knows all of that. I will have a Q&A at the end that you're more than welcome then to ask me questions then. But for time's sake, I'm going to kind of keep it to letting her answer those for you. So who I am, my name is Aeryon Ashlie. I'm the founder and CEO of Aeryon Wellness. I'm a registered holistic nutritional counselor, an ISSA trainer, and eating disorder recovery coach. I've been in this wellness space and in supplement space for over 18 years. So I've worked in a variety of capacities in all over Canada. In 2020 and now in 2021, I was about a top 100 health and wellness influencer. I have a #1 book on Amazon called Bulimia to Balance. I have 4 cookbooks with my daughter, Michaela, and I'm the wellness expert out here on Pulse 107.7 FM. But my most prized job to date and my reason why, and really the meaning behind my brand and how I started it, is my daughter, Michaela. She's 12 years old. So tonight we're talking about fasting. So let's get started. So first, I think it's important to kind of take you back in time as Buzz and Woody are here, kind of give you a little bit of history about who I am and why I came into where I am today with dieting and fasting and this industry. So I began my first diet at the age of 12. Fast forward to 13, I was put into Weight Watchers, where sitting in that meeting, I realized pretty quickly I was too much and not enough all at the same time, which became part of my story I carried for many years. At about 14, I was in my class, and one of my classmates told me about his sister who was struggling with anorexia and bulimia, and how she had been, purging and not eating, and she was very emaciated. And in my little teenage mind, I just thought, this is the winning diet ticket. I can eat whatever I want. And that began a 25-year battle with bulimia that led to severe hormonal imbalances and also severe anxiety as well. In my 20s, I started doing fitness competitions. My first competition is there on the left, and the middle picture is probably a couple months later. So for 13 years, I did fitness competitions, probably 3 to 4 a year, because it was my only time in which I wasn't binging and purging. So I would compete, be really lean, eat really clean, and then fall off the wagon. So although you might not have competed or had an eating disorder, I think we all can really resonate with this on again, off again relationship we have with fitness or with health and wellness and with ourselves. One of my last shows I did was on the left at the Arnold Classic down in Columbus, Ohio. It was a bucket list for me, crossed that off. And on the right, it's about 2 months later. So again, you can see that on again, off again. I was either on the wagon or really far off. And I really had my aha moment about 10 years ago. My daughter would have been about 3 at the time, 2.5, 3. And, it was another day where I was, not going to fall into purging and not binge. And yet I did. I think we can all really kind of feel that, we plan on doing the diet and it just doesn't work. We eat too much or something happens, we get triggered. And I was in the bathroom and I was purging and there was a knock at the door and it was my 3-year-old. And, you know, those of you who have kids, I think we all understand when we have children, we give up our privacy keys, right? So as I rose up and caught my reflection, I realized in that moment, if I don't get a hold of this, and if I don't start fixing my relationship with food and my body, that this would be her story. And that really was my catalyst and became my why. You know, I got really sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I began to really do a lot of reflection. I had worked as a trainer and a coach for a number of years, even not in Ontario. I lived there for 15 years. And I began to look at, you know, it's not just working out. It's not just nutrition. It's really the whole picture. It's the thoughts we think, the friends we keep, daily movement, nutrition, and then supplementation. And I began to work on putting this all together so I could have sustainable health and wellness, which I really have landed in today. So I'm excited to really have this conversation with you. And one of the things I also began looking at in that period of time was not only what I was eating, but when I was eating, and how that affected my results and my sustainability with my weight and how I felt and my energy. So tonight, that's why we're going to be talking about flexible fasting. So some of the points we're going to be going over tonight is fasting 101. We're going to go through the basics. We're going to talk about the health benefits. We're going to talk about intuitive eating. Then we're going to talk about mindfulness, nutrition, and then supplementation in the end. So let's get started. So fasting, intermittent fasting is basically when you entirely or partially abstain from eating for a set amount of time. And there's different methods of intermittent fasting. So you have the 16 and 8 method, which is fasting for 16 hours, eating for 8, or fasting for 18 hours and eating for 6. Usually the 16 is for women, and then the 18 is for men, right? So that's kind of how that one works. Then there's a 20 and a 4 method. So eating a 4-hour window with a 20-hour fast. So having that method. Then there's the 2 and 5, which is eating 2 days a week. And you're consuming either low calories, under 500 calories for those 2 days of the week. And the rest of the day you're eating, the rest of the week you're eating normally, or a full 24-hour fast. Some people do it once a week. Some people do it once a month. It's entirely up to you and what works for you. So if we look at the 16-8 method or the 18-6 method, right, just depending on guy or girl or what works for you, the idea is, of course, you would stop eating about 8 o'clock. Your first meal would be around 11:30, 12 o'clock, around that time. And then you eat for that short period of window, and then you do the same thing the next day. If we're looking at the 5 and 2, so here we have, let's say on Monday, which would be day 1, Tuesday, you're going to drop to 500 calories, or maybe do a fast completely, and then you're going to go back up to eating normally. Then we have the alternate day fasting, right, what I talked about every other day, or you do a 24-hour fast within that. So how fasting really works, I mean, it's not, you know, we're not eating food for a day. So technically your body's going to burn through all the calories that you've eaten the day before or during your last meal. So it exhausts your sugar storage, right? And then it's going to burn fat for energy. Now, some of the things you can have during a fast, I get asked this quite a bit. Water, obviously, so you wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I usually have my greens. I take a couple of these to work with me. I take a water, I have tea. I will have stevia in my tea. I'm not too worried about that. I also usually have some little bit of creamer. I try to keep it under 50 calories. Diluted apple cider vinegar is another great one, or lemon water. There's superfoods as well. I'm a big superfoods fan. We're going to talk a little bit about that in nutrition, and then bone broth as well. So some of the benefits of fasting, which is another reason why I really enjoy doing fasting, because it works for me, or flexible fasting. So weight loss, I think that's one of the big reasons a lot of people tend to look to fasting is for weight loss. Now, unless you compensate by eating a ton of food in that eating periods, you will consume fewer calories. And a 2014 study actually showed that it can reduce body weight by 3 to 8% over a 3 to 24 week process. Now, another thing I like about flexible fasting is it retains muscle mass. So one of the worst effects of dieting is you actually tend to lose muscle. Now, we look up there, you know, 5 pounds of muscle burns 5 pounds of fat, burns 20 calories a day. 1 pound of fat burns 5 calories. 5 pounds of muscle burns 250 calories a day. So we need to keep that muscle tissue. That's going to keep our metabolism going. That's going to keep us burning that extra fat, correct? So we really need to make sure we're sustaining and keeping that muscle tissue. And with dieting, we tend to lose that. But with fasting, studies have shown there's a in calorie restriction diets, 25% of the weight loss was in your muscle mass and only 10% when you're using fasting. So that's another reason why it's a benefit. It controls insulin levels. So when we eat carbohydrates, the carbs turn to sugar. After it enters digestion, the pancreas senses that there's a rise of blood sugar and starts to produce insulin. So that insulin helps the sugar enter the cell and start to generate energy, which is something we all need. However, if we have too much of that, that can also develop insulin resistance. So we want to make sure that we're not having too much carbohydrates all the time. And when we are in fasting, you're not going to be having that spike in blood sugar. So your insulin levels are going to be dropping significantly. So that lower levels of insulin facilitates more fat burning. And it can reduce insulin resistance if you're somebody who's struggling with that, and lower blood sugar levels as well. It increases growth hormone. So ghrelin, a hormone that's produced in the gut. I always think he looks like grenulin. Just that's his character. So to my mind, I always say that. It's the hunger hormone. So when your stomach's growling, it's like, and you're like, what is that? That's ghrelin. However, what a really cool thing about that is when your stomach is growling, that's stimulating the release of growth hormone from the pituitary gland. So what that does, that helps break down fat tissue and causes more buildup of muscle. It also helps with anti-aging. When we hit 40, our growth hormone levels start to go down. So by fasting, that's going to help bring those up a little bit, right? Increases that HGH levels. So one study of 3 days into a fast, now I'm not suggesting doing a 3-day fast, but if it was something you wanted to do, just to kind of give you some context here, your growth hormone levels increase over 300%. And after 1 week, they increased by 1,250%. So it really goes to show how important this is for actually helping support and create more growth hormone in your system. It's going to help with muscle recovery and strength and exercise performance, and also can kind of help you keep you looking young too. It reduces oxidative damage, inflammation, and aging. So oxidative stress is one of the steps towards aging and chronic illness. So when we're fasting, our cells are having to use other sources of less readily available energy, like fatty acids. So it helps turn the cells into survival process and remove those unhealthy mitochondria and replace them with healthy ones. So it reduces the production of free radicals in our system. It also triggers a metabolic pathway called atrophy. So it removes the waste from the cells. So it gets rid of those old damaged cells and replaces them with shiny new ones. And atrophy makes your cells young and more capable, and also slows down aging as well. So we have almost 2 different anti-aging benefits here. We have the growth hormone, and then we also have reducing the oxidative stress and atrophy. Improves brain health. Intermittent fasting improves various metabolic features known as important for brain health. Increases level of the brain hormone known as brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and it helps make the brain make new connection, repairs failing brain cells, and protects healthy brain cells as well. It also helps with neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And then, of course, we have heart health. Heart disease is one of the world's biggest killers. And intermittent fasting actually helps help with LDL cholesterol, blood triglycerides, inflammatory markers, and blood sugar levels, as we talked about earlier with the insulin. So when we look here at a whole with the benefits of fasting, we have enhances your insulin sensitivity, right? It's going to fight inflammation, promotes heart health, supports cognitive function, and it boosts weight loss. But when we look a lot of the time at fasting, or when you look at the word even dieting, which is something I've always really struggled with. I've struggled with restriction. I've struggled with, I can't have certain food groups when I've been dieting. That just makes me want to eat them even more. It's the weirdest thing. I could start like a diet tomorrow, and the second I start, all of a sudden I want to eat more. I don't know what it is, but I need. So what we know though, is if you look at eating practices and traditions around the world, there's one thing that's clear. We're designed to be flexible around food. And if we look, I love this little thing here, we're doing intermittent fasting, you have to wait till 4 p.m. to eat, right? You're on that time to eat, or you can't have carbs. You've taken whatever it is you've taken out of your diet. And what often that usually ends up happening is this picture here. This would have been me at 11:59 before I start my diet at midnight, right? Really trying to get everything in. Or if you're intermittent fasting, if you find you're somebody who really can't operate within a huge structure, that you might overeat during those 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours or whatever you're giving yourself. And this is really where flexible fasting comes into play. And this is where it can be really utilized to be able to incorporate some of those benefits we were talking about in the slides before, but also incorporate more mindfulness and intuitive eating surrounding food and what you need and when you need it. So flexible fasting is like intermittent fasting. you're not eating during certain windows of time, and you're fasting during windows of time, and you're eating during other different windows of time. However, there's no time schedule. You're not like, oh, it's only 12, I can't eat yet. That's not the deal. What it really is about, it's really about tuning into your body. So it's about listening to that ghrelin when it starts growling. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm feeling that. Am I really hungry right now? Okay, really tuning in, asking yourself and connecting to your hunger cues, developing that attention and awareness to your body, which has served me immensely coming off of somebody who was an extreme dieter and also somebody who struggled with eating disorders, because I never was really connected to my hunger cues or my body or what I needed. So when we look at the comparison between intermittent and flexible fasting, in intermittent, you have that timed fast, right? 16, 8, 24. But in flexible fasting, you're fasting till you're hungry, and you're asking yourself the question, am I hungry? And then making really good nutrition choices, which we're going to talk about in the next section. In intermittent fasting, you have that timed eating window. There is no timed eating window. Sometimes if I'm really hungry at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I will let myself have something to eat, but I'll make a good choice. I'm not living in a land of I can't have it, because if I live in that land of I can't have it, I want it even more. So really giving myself permission to be able to listen to my hunger and listen to when I need something. In intermittent fasting, it's more restriction. It's more along the dieting mentality. Can't have this, can't do that. This is more flexibility when we're looking at flexible fasting. It's more stressful because a lot of the time people feel like, oh, if I broke my fast, I shouldn't have done that. That's going to produce more cortisol in your body, which of course is going to affect your insulin levels, affect your estrogen levels, affect how your body's going to be losing weight. This creates more trust in your body. You're like, okay, I am hungry, and I can trust myself enough to have a good conscious choice of what I'm going to support my body with food. It can lead to eating disorders as well, because you're in that restrictive mentality. This is honoring your needs. There's no shame or guilt. A lot of the time you can feel very, oh man, I broke my fast. I shouldn't have done that. I feel so guilty. Maybe you'll go eat a box of cookies, because it's that same restrictive idea. This is really stepping away from it, but using the benefits of fasting. And it's also antisocial. You know, you go out for lunch with somebody, oh, I can't eat yet. It's not 1 o'clock. Waiting. You know, be hard to go on a date, I would think, because you're just constantly, I can't eat yet, right? So this really gives you a personalized eating strategy, gives you an opportunity to look at what works for you, how are you serving your body, and how do you want to fuel your body as well. So I want to get everybody to do a little exercise here with me. This is fun. Shake it off a bit. We've been listening to me yatter on here. So I'm going to open up the chat. And I'd like you just all, if you could take a second. Oh, am I talking too fast? Sorry, I do talk fast. Sorry about that, Barb. I will try to slow down. I apologize. I get excited sometimes. Okay. You're a 6. So 1 to 10, where is everybody feeling right now? Where are you on the hunger scale? It is 7 o'clock out there. 7. You're full. A lot of people have had dinner. Okay, that's great. 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you for sharing, everybody. This is awesome. Great. 3. Okay, really connecting to our body, right? Where are we on that hunger scale? That's awesome. Thank you. Everybody's around a 6 or 7. Got a couple 3s. Got a snack. Okay. Now, what would be your go-to if you were a 3 or a 4? You know, right now in your, oh, you're eating dinner as you watch. Well, I'm glad I can be your, right? I'm glad to be your entertainment for dinner. So if you were a 7 or 8, would you snack? Would you go eat something? Would you tune in and be like, I'm not really hungry now, I'm okay. I think a lot of the time at night, right? We're like, oh, checking that fridge. What's going on? Is the fridge light working? You know, that kind of thing, crackers. I find that I can do that too at night, right? I can start snacking avocados and tuna, wine. I gotta love wine, Ashley, right? And if you were a 3 or a 4, if you were super hungry, so if you were 7 and 8, what would you eat? Would you go eat something, or would you actually be able to land in your body and say, I'm okay right now? And that's something to really think about. Or if you're a 3 and a 4, what would you go to eat? If you're super hungry, would you eat something really nutritious for your body? Would you give yourself something that your body is going to actually use as fuel, right? That's something else. Yeah, when I don't eat till 12, snacks, yeah. Little peanut butter and almond milk, that's protein. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about utilizing things at night that are actually going to not only satiate you, but actually benefit you too. Okay. So then I want to ask one more question here. I want you to think about your day today. And when you ate throughout the day, how many of you can kind of say yes or no, how many of you connected to your hunger each time you were hungry? So the first time you ate this morning, you just grab something, eat it. Were you driving? Were you in the house? Were you just not? Because I can do that. I find myself doing it too. And it's really good for me to even do this webinar because it reminds myself, connect a little bit more. Am I hungry? Or am I mad, sad, lonely, upset? You know, am I that 3 and 4, right? And that's what we really want to do, is be more in that 3 or 4 state where we're acknowledging when we're hungry, right? If I'm hungry and I'm hungry, then I'm going to eat. And really, that's when we're able to land in our body and trust ourselves too. So it's not a timed fast, but you're really landing in the, okay, my body's hungry now. All right, I'm going to honor it and give it something good to eat. And really starting to connect. That's where I'm trying to kind of get with this section here, is creating that mindfulness and connection and utilizing the fasting with flexibility. Okay. Right, so now we're going to go into a little bit to intuitive eating. So I want to tell everybody, thank you so much for everybody for shared as well. I really love it when I have an audience that is really into participation. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It makes my job easier. So I appreciate that. So I hope you kind of understand what I was trying to do there, is really trying to bring some attention to that hunger cues, that 3s and 4s. That's where we really want to be when we start paying attention and going and giving ourselves something good to eat. That's when we create more mindfulness with our food and falling more into intuitive eating. It's trusting our body to make the choices around food and feel good in our body without judgment and without having to fall into that diet culture, that restrictive mentality. Okay. Next. And part of that, what that does, it let go of that all or nothing. Like when I talked about earlier, when I was struggling with my eating disorder and competitive competitions, on or off, that was hardcore, right? I don't want to abide in all or nothing anymore. I want to abide in trusting my body. And with that comes a better body image. I've let go of a lot of the baggage I carried about this. I'm not enough. I'm too much. All of that stuff that I had in that first Weight Watchers meeting way back in the day. And with that, my self-esteem has improved. And also my metabolism has improved as well, because I don't feel guilt and shame when I'm eating. I truly believe that when you have guilt and shame surrounding the food that you're eating, your body will digest it, absorb it, and your metabolism works on a different level. I really believe in energy. So if we're able to be fully present with our food, acknowledge that we're enjoying something, even if it's chocolate, we're not having to eat 4 bars. We can have pieces of it, enjoy it, and be like, yeah, I'm really good. I'm satiated now. I feel good about that. It diminishes stress levels as well. It's going to diminish those cortisol levels, those stress levels, and decreases the rates of disordered eating and emotional eating. I can tell you firsthand, it's been almost over 10 years now, and I've not had any episodes. And I am somebody who I never thought I'd have the relationship I have with food in my body now. I can be so honest with you about that. So I've really found freedom in landing and learning to trust my body and my hunger cues. And this has been a big part of it for me. And really creating mindfulness around food and our choices. So how the flexible fasting, intuitive, mindful eating, why am I eating? When am I eating? What am I eating? How am I eating? Like chewing slowly. Am I tasting the food? Do I smell the food? Like all of those things, using those senses to take some time with it. How much am I eating? Right? And where? And then where do I invest my energy with that too? Am I focused constantly on food, or I'm able to really land in my body and be like, okay, I'm hungry, and then let it go and not be fixated all the time of when am I eating next and how much can I have and weighing food, because that really can also create stress as well in your body. So now that we're hungry, now that we've talked about hungry and we want to learn how to honor it, now we need to learn what are the foods that we need to use and utilize to give us the results we want, right? So nutrition, this leads to our nutrition segment. I love this quote, let food be thy medicine or medicine be thy food, right? Really important to think about that. So I've got a quiz and I've got a prize up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen. Get everybody ready here. I'm going to go into the chat. So here's the deal. As Stewie said, you cannot look like this without proper macros, Brian. The first person to tell me what macros are will win a prize. Oh my God, Elsie, you are a ninja. All right, Elsie, you won. So Elsie won. Good job. It is protein, fats, and carbs. Elsie, can you please message? I will get Jen to message you, or message Jen, and she will, or in the chat there in the questions, she will send you my email address, and I will send you a prize for answering that. You're a ninja. My goodness, keyboard ninja. All right, protein, fats, and carbohydrates are your macronutrients, right? It is macronutrients, but your protein, fats, and carbs. So what are they? When they break it down, They are your macronutrients. We also have micronutrients. We're going to talk a little bit about those in a little bit, but macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs. So we're going to go over the importance of this and what we want to be eating when we are hungry, right? Because that's not, so we've gotten all the benefits from fasting, but as we said, if that 4 to 6 hour, 8 hour, whatever the window is you're eating, if you're eating not food that's not going to support you on your journey and support you on your goals, it's not going to work, right? So protein. I cannot say enough about this. This is going to help balance blood sugar levels. This helps with your sleep. This helps with so many different things. So what we're looking at with protein is going to help stabilize your blood sugar. Big thing. If you're somebody who finds you have insulin resistance, you're really crashing after every single meal, you're exhausted, protein with every meal is essential. And another thing too, if you're somebody who's finding that, have more 3 meals a day. So if you're doing a timed window, a lot of the time that's a little bit easier, but a lot of us have been taught to have these 6 meals a day. Break it down to 3, because then your insulin is not going to be spiking as much. So have less food 3 times a day. It's going to stabilize blood sugar as well. It improves fat burning. As we talked about in that slide before, muscle burns more than fat. 250 calories is what it's going to be burning with 5 pounds of muscle. Stimulates muscle building. We need protein to create lean muscle tissue. Improves learning and memory, positive mood, heart health, slows down aging. Who doesn't want that? And improves bone density. So it also assists with hormonal balance as well. So proteins are made of chemical building blocks called amino acids. To have a complete protein, it's 9 essential amino acids. And your body uses the amino acids to repair and build muscles, to make up hormone, and also used to make hormones and enzymes as well. So it creates lean muscle tissue, increases metabolism, especially when we're looking at weight loss. This is one of the big things we want to look at. So we're going to figure out our protein calculation. So you can use your phone if you want, and if you know what your pounds are, you can easily Google, like I did this one here. This person's 150 pounds. So I figure out what 150 pounds is in kilograms. So you can also screenshot the screen if you want to keep this slide. You will all be getting a copy of this presentation as well from Healthy Planet. So 150 pounds equals 70.3 kilograms. Now, what you want to multiply it by to figure out your daily protein needs would be either 0.8 up to 1. I do times 1 because I exercise quite a bit. I'm very active. I'm at the gym. I want to really create that lean muscle tissue. But this lady here at 150 pounds, she doesn't work out as much, maybe 2-3 times a week. So we're going to do 0.8 for her. So she is, or he, uses 56 grams of protein a day. So let's say roughly 60 grams of protein a day is what this person at 150 pounds needs to have. Now, if you're having 3 meals, that means 20 grams of protein per meal, right? But making sure we get that protein every time we're eating to help stabilize those blood sugars, create that lean muscle tissue, and give us the results we want. They're also immune powerhouses, right? So immune system powerhouses, they help with antibodies and immune cells. They all rely on protein. So that's another thing, especially with looking at COVID and looking at our immune health. Protein also helps with that too. So good sources of quality protein. We have grass-fed chicken and beef. We have wild fish, lentils, eggs, chickpeas, spirulina. I didn't know that one. Chlorella has all 9 essential amino acids. It's a complete protein, which is amazing. Tofu, whey, vegan, and vegan hemp and rice. So one of the proteins I really love, and Healthy Planet, I believe, to start carrying this one, is Prairie Naturals Lean Whey. It's New Zealand, so it's grass-fed cows, so happy cows, happy whey. You got 24 grams of protein in here. It's a whey concentrate isolate blend, so I like that as well. It gets really nice and thick and creamy. It has digestive enzymes in there that has no bovine growth hormone in here, and it also has no synthetic flavors or sweeteners. My daughter and I make protein smoothies all the time with this, and it's super easy to use. It's a small tubby. There's your protein in there. I don't look at, and the reason I have protein in food, I don't believe this is, to me, this is not a supplement. I can keep this for a couple of years, and I use it on a regular basis to give myself good quality protein. So simple to use. I'm going to show you how I do it. Shaker cup. You can make it in a smoothie if you like. Just easy peasy. I have some ice in there. I'm going to do 1 scoop. This is 2 scoops for 25. There we go. Add some water. Shake it up. You can add almond milk. You can use berries. My dad recently, I bought him a blender recently, and he had never made himself a smoothie. Well, let me tell you, the next day I got a phone call, and he was like, "Oh my God, how could I have been missing out on this?" made himself a blueberry smoothie. So that's his newest favorite treat, is blueberry smoothie every morning with almond milk, a little bit of peanut butter, right? So nice and easy and really light on the taste, and you got some of your protein in there. You can make also protein balls with this too. There's some recipes there too. So really good idea to get a good quality protein, one that you're going to like and you're going to use. That's the big thing. Next, when you're looking at more vegan, rice protein is the one I really like because it has all 9 essential amino acids, but there are some fantastic vegan proteins on the market today. So Healthy Planet has an array of them, and I believe they have the rice protein as well. So it's hyperallergenic. It helps those who have allergies. It has the same protein as whey, egg white, and milk. It's good for shakes, and it's 100% vegan. And this makes nice little vegan protein balls as well that you can freeze in snacks. So really looking at making sure you have a good protein powder you can keep in your cupboard for a year or so, right? And you can use it. You probably won't because you're going to use it. So next we're going to talk about healthy fats. So fats, of course, balance your hormones out. They help with your heart health. They regulate your body temperature. They help your body absorb the vitamins A and D, which we know is essential for immune health, E and K, brain support, joint support, stabilizes blood sugar, detoxifies the body, and omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. So really looking at keeping anti-inflammatory foods in our diet. Healthy sources would be nuts and seeds, avocados, olive oil, MCT. A lot of people do the bulletproof coffee when they're fasting, so that first thing. So that's going to be your fats in your coffee. Fish oil, flaxseed oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, and cheese. So those are some of the healthy sources of fats. Then we have carbohydrates. So carbohydrates provide energy, and I think carbohydrates have gotten a really bad rap with keto. I've never been one to take out any, I've never been one to eliminate any food group out of my diet over the past 10, 12 years. I've been really adamant about that. I really believe in having everything in my diet. I don't operate in a restrictive idea with food, but it provides energy, fiber. It's going to help with sleep at night, uplifts your mood, helps your digestive system with that fiber, provides vitamins and phytonutrients. So some sources of healthy carbohydrates, I don't know all about you, but I am now getting into salad season. I find once summer kind of hits or the warmth, we've had some nice weather out here, I'm all about salads every night for dinner. So really looking at incorporating those fibrous vegetables, right? Nice big, huge salad. I don't ever limit how much I have, and then nice chicken breast on top, or some salmon on top, or tofu on top. So looking at the fibrous vegetables, the whole fruits, a lot of people don't realize fruits are a carbohydrate. So if you want that lower scale sugar fruits, we're going to look at the berries like blueberries, strawberries, apples, those kind of things. Wintertime is more my starchy vegetables. That's when I'm going to have more of the sweet potatoes. I'm going to have the spaghetti squash, the potatoes, those kind of things, and then grains and legumes as well. So you got the Ezekiel breads, the beans, the lentils, all those great sources of carbohydrates. Looking for carbohydrates that are high in fiber and really good for you to help support your intestinal health. We really want to avoid all those high sugar, high fructose carbohydrates that are going to spike your insulin levels. Next, fermented food. Gut health. 80% of our immune system is in our gut. I can't go through this conversation without talking about gut health and talking about fermented foods. So if you are experiencing gas, bloating, constipation, some different foods you can start incorporating into your meals would be kefir, tempeh, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's really easy to make as well. Apple cider vinegar drink, probiotics. And poor gut health also increases the risk of estrogen-related diseases such as PCOS, endometriosis, and even breast cancer. So we really want to make sure we're taking care of our gut. It's not only what we eat, but it's what we absorb. So you could eat all these great foods and be doing all the fasting, but if you're not really taking care of your gut health and you're not pooping on a regular basis, it's not going to be supporting you on your journey to health and wellness. So some things you can also look at as well, if you're experiencing the gas and bloating constipation, would be an enzyme force. That's from Prairie Natural. I really like that product, digestive enzymes. If you're somebody who's had your gallbladder removed, looking at bile force or an ox bile to take supports you whenever you're eating fats. So now I'm going to touch on superfoods. Superfoods are one of my favorite things. I have superfoods every single day. I've had them for about 15 years now. And so these are nutrient dense foods. They have high dosages of antioxidants, polyphenols, vitamins and minerals, things like goji, turmeric. I'm sure a lot of you cook with turmeric, kale, spirulina, chlorella, moringa. It reduces the risk of disease. It's going to keep you in a alkaline state. We have acid and alkaline in our body. We want to make sure we're staying more alkaline than acidic. It helps the healthy gut microbes. It energizes and helps with stamina and cellular health. And so one of the things I've really kind of fell in love with too, and I want to share with you guys, is the Prairie Natural Superfoods. So I'm always looking for a great, fantastic tasting greens. And I'm not sure how many people here take a greens on a regular basis. How many people like greens? Do we have a lot of greens fans? Let me turn my little chat on. Do we have a lot of greens here? Yes. Yay, we have greens, people. I love greens. I'm such a greens fan. If it's one of my favorite things of all time to take a greens. So with this greens, the reason I like this one from Prairie, it has it's fermented. So we talked about fermented foods. You have fermented organic food-based antioxidants in here. So fermentation reduces that sugar content. We talked about reducing the sugar levels, improves mineral and vitamin antioxidant bioavailability. So this is a fermented organic green foods. I'm going to go over some of the ingredients. We've got maca, turmeric, beet. We've got mushrooms in there as well. So we've got the king trumpet, the turkey tail, the cordyceps, some great mushrooms in here that are really coming. A lot of people are loving mushrooms now. We have spirulina, chlorella, moringa. It's vegan, non-GMO, soy-free, gluten-free, and it tastes delicious. So I'm going to show you how green it is. As you can tell, I've kind of been drinking all of it. I sometimes do greens 2-3 times a day. Like I do an excessive amount of greens, to be quite honest with you. I absolutely love the taste. I drive and see stores for a living, so I'm always on the road visiting health food stores. So that would be a scoop. I'm doing a big heaping one. Put it in. I got ice in there, nice and simple. This is also going to count towards my water that I'm having every day as well. So if I have 2 of these, that's going to give me one of my water counts. Super easy to blend. And the thing that I have to say with this one, it's a light blueberry taste. It actually tastes fantastic. That's the big thing I've always experienced. And I've been, in this industry for 18 years. So I've, worked for different supplement companies that have greens, and they don't all taste good. Let's be honest. This tastes really good. So that way I can easily test this one. A light blueberry taste really mixes so simply and easy. Fantastic. It's awesome. So that's the superfoods. I'm going to go over some of the ingredients here. We've got kale in there, which is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's an excellent source of vitamin C, A, K, B6, helps with blood clotting. It's also high in lutein, which right now, with all of us on our Zoom calls and all of us at home working, that's going to help with eye health. That xenoxanthin and the lutein is going to help with our eye health. Then we've got wheatgrass to reduce cravings, eliminate toxin, boost metabolism. I'm going to not read off all the slides, just some of them. Otherwise, you'd be here for a while. Then turmeric to reduce inflammation, help with arthritis and depression. It's a natural detoxifier. Then they've added the reishi mushroom. And these are just some of the mushrooms because there's more of them than that. Reishi, lion's mane, turkey tail, and cordyceps. You've got some that help with sleep, anxiety and depression, cognition, memory, immune support, and also help with energy and recovery. Then the most important ones, I really love chlorella, 16 vitamins and 8 minerals. Like that's outstanding. 19 amino acids, all 9 essential amino acids, and the richest source of chlorophyll. I'm not sure if anybody knows about the whole TikTok thing with chlorophyll. This is the richest source of chlorophyll, and you're getting all these other benefits with it. It's got your omega-3s and your omega-6, and it actually is a binder and carries heavy metals out of the body. Then spirulina as well, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, removes heavy metals from the body. So really simple and easy to use. And as I said, when I'm doing my fasting, I'll have 2 of these in my little lunch bag with a tea and my water. And then I just drink continuously. So I had to do some bathroom stops, but it helps me keep my fast going, right? And I'm just not as hungry, and I'm getting all of these wonderful nutritional benefits. So Prairie Natural is one of the reasons I like it, is because they're a BC company, they're a Canadian company, they're family owned. And these are some of the other ingredients, some of the other superfoods they have too. So they have a whole bunch. So if you're looking for maca or turmeric, they have a reds, whole bunch of them. You can head into Healthy Planet and ask them about that, and they can direct you towards it. And they can also direct you towards the new superfoods they just launched. So next we're going to talk about supplementation. And I'm going to talk about my product, Lose It. So as I said, when I kind of came out of my working through everything with my cognitive behavioral therapy and my nutrition and my meal and my nutrition and movement and putting everything together, I really found there wasn't a lot of supplements on the market that I could use that really spoke to me and that worked for me. And one of the things I began looking at was weight loss, and especially with weight loss with women, a lot of the time we tend to hold it perimenopausal, I'm perimenopausal, hold it in our hips and our thighs. And we really struggle with trying to find some I guess, some support when it comes to that. So this is one of the reasons that we designed the product Lose It. And it is a metabolism support product. It is an exercise enhancer. I take one a day pre-gym in the morning, have the best workouts ever. But it also, and this is why I'm bringing it into the flexible fasting conversation, it also helps with fasting. The feedback we're getting from people who intermittent fast is they're able to stay in their fast longer. They're not as hungry. They're able to carry it to 12 or whatever they want to. Or if you're somebody who is flexible fasting like myself, I take it more for my workout, and also it does help me with my fasting. So it helps with hormonal imbalance as well. We have some really key ingredients in here that really support women. And it also helps with low energy and slow metabolism. So I'm going to go quickly through the ingredients. Some of the ingredients we've included is indole-3-carbinol. Indole-3-carbinol is found in vegetables such as broccolis and Brussels sprouts. It's those cruciferous vegetables that really help prevent the development of estrogen-dependent cancers. It helps balance estrogen in the body. And what we know is a lot of women tend to carry estrogenic weight gain, hips and thighs area, right? That tends to be our spot. So it also helps support the liver and detoxification of estrogen. So removing that estrogen, that excess estrogen metabolites from your body. Then we've added red pepper extract. Red pepper extract helps with feeling full. It's known as an appetite suppressant, also as a metabolism boosting product. It increases the heat in the body, so it increases your calories burned. Then we've added caffeine. There is only 1.5 cups of coffee per pill. And that was done purposely because I didn't want a bunch of caffeine in the product. There we go. Here's Lose It right here. It also raises blood levels of epinephrine, and then also contains choline acid that helps slow down the absorption of carbohydrates. We've added L-carnitine to help with boosting metabolism and prevent muscle fatigue and increase recovery of when you're working out. Then green tea extract. So with the green tea extract, we've actually removed all the caffeine. And one of the reasons we've used this is the theanine. So theanine helps reduce the levels of cortisol our body is going to release. And it would kind of be hypocritical of me if I'm talking about supporting our body and not having all this cortisol, and I'm giving ourselves or giving a product that has tons of caffeine that's going to increase your body's stress levels. So it really helps support your body on that sense. And it also helps reduce estrogen as well. Then we've added olive leaf that helps reduce appetite again and also supports weight loss. And last but not least, we've included B12 that boosts the metabolism and provides energy to our body by converting our food into the sugar that we need. And it supports our adrenal glands too. So this one, and I'm a big fan of this, it's a 1 to 2 a day. You can take 3 max. You take 1 in the morning and 1 at lunch. I take 1 pre-gym. Like yesterday, I ate at 12. Today, I was a little more hungry. I ate at 10. So it really depends, as I said, because I abide by more a flexible fasting mentality when I'm hungry, but it really, really supports. I find I have the best workouts on it, and I feel fantastic on it as well. So it increases energy, exercise enhancer, balancing out the hormones, helps with recovery. It's a fat loss support product, low stimulant, which is another thing. You won't feel jittery on this one, and helps decrease your appetite if that's something you're looking to work towards. But we've taken it a step further. As I've talked about, there's no magic pill. It's not just taking this and everything's going to be, everything's fixed, because that's not the way it is. So what we have on the front of every one of Aeryon Wellness products, to be honest, is I have a QR code. I don't know if it's a little fuzzy there. When you scan that QR code, I believe at Healthy Plant, they might be on the top right now, but all of the labels are going to have QR codes. In that QR code, you're taken to a 30 to 60 second video where I'm explaining each product and what each product does. I have 6 products on the market. We've also included things like meal guides and recipes. We have daily affirmations with our stress support product. We have magnesium-rich recipes with our sleep support product. We have hormonal balancing menu planners. We also go into your different cycles on our hormonal balancing product as well. But with Lose It, we have a vegan and non-vegan menu planner in here with recipes and tips and strategies. We have mindful eating tips, and we also have a workout as well. I'm going to be uploading a workout video in here too, so you can work out with me if you like. So that's the Lose It, really looking at how we can support you on your journey, because if you follow all these tools and tips and strategies, and if you start implementing a bit of that flexible fasting, landing in your body a little more, you'll find success. Another product, if you want to stack them, and I'm just going to talk about this for 2 seconds, is Water Be Gone. These two stack really nicely together. So Water Be Gone helps with water retention. It's a diuretic. It helps detoxify the body as well. So if you stack these two, and we're to do one of these in the morning with one of these and one of each in the afternoon. This is going to help flush out excess water out of your system. So you're going to see that scale move a little faster. I'm pretty sodium sensitive. So when I have a salty meal, I'll have a water be gone. And it just takes out, because my rings will get tight or my pants will get really tight, or that pre-cycle time of the month, I'll have a water be gone. And it makes all the difference in the world for balancing out my water levels. So these two together also stack really nicely. And if you head into Healthy Planet, they'll be able to direct you with these two as well. So you'd want to take one of each in the morning, one of each at lunch. And that's a way of taking those if you want to see that dial move. And if you're finding you're retaining a bunch of water. So as I kind of talked about with the QR code innovation with Aeryon Wellness, these are all 6 products. We have Reclaim, which is our daily day-to-day hormonal balancing product. That's the one with the hormonal supportive menu planner in there. And it also goes through the different cycles, your lutein, your follicle, your ovulation, your menstruation cycle. Then we have Water Be Gone, Lose It, Snooze, Reset, which is more cycle regularity. And if you're coming off the birth control pill, and Restore, our stress support product. So all of these have these QR code innovations in them. And I'm really excited to be able to do this because it really lands within what my mission is, and to empower women with holistic health. And I can't do that if I'm just selling you a product. There's so much more to it, as we've talked about tonight. So some extra tips tonight we're going to go through. We are what we eat. So if we are going to be abiding this flexible fasting, you're going to be maybe having your green superfoods, maybe you're taking a Lose It. 80-20 is a rule I've used for many years now. And whether it be, 80% of the time I'm, eating really, I'm very healthier food, I guess you could say. I don't like to say cheat meals because I don't believe in that idea. But 20% of the time, I let myself have something. So on weekends, I tend to have wine, or I'll have some popcorn. I'll have different treats and things that I want to have. And then 80% of the time, Monday to Friday, because I'm working, I'm on the road, I tend to land in more of I want to say stricter, but a more healthier way of eating. But so that's a great way to adopt it as well, 80-20, giving yourself that 20% flexibility. Next, exercise. We cannot get away from talking about health and wellness or weight loss goals without exercise. Now things are slowly beginning to open up. Thank you. I know you guys out east I feel for you guys out there, but once we actually are able to get back out and start seeing each other again, a question, if you're somebody who doesn't want to go to the gym, is what sports did you play as a kid? I have rediscovered my love for rollerblading, for example. And I went for an hour the other day on the seawall and just rollerbladed by myself. So really looking at things that we used to love to do as kids and bringing them back in, that is movement. You don't have to spend an hour in the gym every day. Going for walks, spending time with your kids, join a challenge if there's one that you can participate online, using bands. I have workout bands at home. When I take my daughter to field hockey, I'm doing bands in the field. Doing family fitness, my daughter and I work out quite a bit, and really looking at utilizing those weight-bearing exercises. We want to create lean muscle tissue. We're going to have that protein. We want to make sure we use that protein to create lean muscle tissue to speed up our metabolism. And if you're somebody right now, if you're not, I know the gyms aren't open up there. I know that when we were out here, we were total lockdown. I had a really tough time doing 30 minutes straight a day. I'm in the gym, I'm good, but at home I really struggled. So I did 10 minutes 3 times a day. And even right now, as you're sitting here listening to me, you can easily, just stretch it out for a second, you can easily reach up as high as you can. I can't see you, so you can do it. So reach up and then pull down and flex your back. Pull your shoulder blades down, pull your back together and flex like you're doing a bodybuilder type thing. You're flexing. You do that. Like if you're on a Zoom call, turn the screen off, turn the film off, and do that 10 times, flexing your back. It's a good exercise. Standing up and doing push-ups off your chair, moving your body every day I really believe that's our way of saying thank you for this opportunity to exist in this beautiful body that we have. Another tip, reducing sugar. So I know we talked about carbohydrates. We talked about having high fibrous carbohydrates. We talked about insulin when we talked about the benefits, because you're lowering your insulin levels when you're into that fasting state. But if you are breaking your fast and you're going to have a donut or have a bunch of sugary foods, 80-20, have it sometimes, I believe in that. But if it's consistent every day, it's going to accelerate aging, it's going to increase diabetes and heart disease. So really wanting to look at those high fructose corn syrups, reading those labels, looking at the sugar that's in our food is really important. Things you can use instead. I'm a big fan of Sweet Monk. There are 2 BC girls who launched that company. I believe you guys have it, Healthy Planet as well. Stevia and xylitol, using different sugar sources. If you're somebody who has a sweet tooth, I have stevia in here right now, and I probably have 2 or 3 packs. So I have a sweet tooth, so I get that. But really looking at ways in which you can reduce your sugar content coming into your body. Then being compassionate and patient. One of the things I've always found fascinating, in dealing with customers or dealing with clients when it comes to weight loss, we really, I've had women come in, I've been in a store, they're like, I need to lose 10 pounds by Friday. It's like, it's Monday. We really want change like yesterday. And we wouldn't require that of ourselves if we were going to, become a PhD doctor. We know that takes time. We know that to create lasting change, it takes daily small actions, implementing these daily actions to create longevity and change. I don't weigh myself anymore. If you're somebody who weighs yourself and it doesn't bother you, that's great. I can't weigh myself just because I get really in my head if I see numbers. Same as I can't, take out certain foods, same as I can't intermittent fast. I have to have flexible fasting. I have to really land within my body. I go by my clothes and how they fit. And focus on the small wins. I had a lady message me. We did this talk a couple of weeks ago, and she messaged me on Instagram. She's like, hey, I did flexible fasting till like 9 a.m. today. It's the first time ever. I'm like, that is amazing. She had never done that. She goes, I feel really good. I'm like, good for you. She goes, I've always woken up and just eaten breakfast because I felt I should. And this morning I woke up and went, am I hungry? And then I didn't eat. And she goes, and I feel good. I'm like, there you go. So those are small wins that we need to celebrate. And we also need to look at too, it did not take a week to gain our weight. So we really have to give ourselves compassion and patience to lose the weight again, or to lose the weight if we want to. So some takeaway lessons tonight. The flexible fasting 101, we talked about the 16-18, the 2, the 5, the different ways in which you can fast, in which intermittent fasting is used or talked about. Then we also went into the benefits of fasting, the weight loss, controlling your insulin, your growth hormone, reduces oxidative stress, improves brain health, heart health, anti-aging. And then looking at more flexible fasting. How do we incorporate that instead? So intuitive eating. Am I hungry? Or am I sad, mad, lonely? Am I checking that fridge light again to make sure it's working? Then creating winning food choices when we're breaking that fast. When we choose to eat our food, it's not just not eating and then eating whatever you want. It's really landing in how can I support my body and be kind and loving to my body? And then you supplement when needed, right? So if you are somebody who is looking for a product, lose it. I absolutely love it. And then bonus tips, reduce the sugar, be kind to yourself, and using a plan to kickstart. Tonight you're all going to be getting the flexible fasting meal planner I've made up. And one of the reasons I included that is I don't necessarily believe in the construct of dieting anymore, but I do know that when I really started to heal myself out of my eating disorder and out of my disordered eating patterns, I had to have a plan in place. And I think nothing's wrong with having a plan in place. So looking at using different things and different tips and tools and strategies, like tonight being here with me and listening to me talk, there might have been some things that don't resonate with you. But tonight, hopefully there's some nuggets. You're going to go, I like that. I'm going to try that. And that's what I've done over the years. I've attended tons of these different webinars. And I've listened to things. I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm going to try that. That works for me. And I like that. I'm going to try that. That works for me. And you kind of build your own toolbox of things that are going to work for you. So using that plan, using these different ideas to kickstart, to create the life that you want to have. And at the end of it, what is your story and what do you want your story to be? And I believe everything comes from choices. We know every day the choices we make every single day will determine our outcome, no matter how little they are. They all will add up in the end. And over 10 years ago, I made a choice, and I made a very conscious choice that I was going to change my life. And in that, it's also changed my daughter's life. And then with that, my plan is to hopefully help others and help other women. And hopefully some of you tonight, I hope you're able to get something what I talked about to help you with your choices as well, and to make more healthier choices that will bring you along to health and wellness sustainability. So as I said tonight, sorry, let me just take a sip here. This is kind of a glimpse of the flexible fasting meal planner. Now, if you look, I've done more of a fats and proteins in the beginning and carbohydrates in the end. But this is the flexible fasting meal planner that I've left for you. And all the recipes are there. So you can utilize them in whichever capacity you want, whichever speaks to you. There is no set way to do this. It's about listening and tuning into yourself as well. So tonight, they are offering, you will be getting all of this in an email as well. They're going to be offering you 15% off Aeryon Wellness, all the whole lineup, the hormonal balancing products, the Water Be Gone, the Lose It, the Snooze, the Reset, and Restore, all on special with Healthy Planet, 15% off until June 16th. And they've also put the Prairie Natural stuff on special, the protein and the superfoods, 15% off until May 31st. So those are all available to you. You will get an email with all this information as well, so you don't need to be writing this down. And I just want to say a quick thank you tonight for taking the time and listening and being present with me, and also being sharing as well, because sometimes that can get a little bit daunting when you're sharing with a group. So I want to really commend all of you for sharing and being open and honest with some of your stuff tonight. That's really amazing. I love that. Last but not least, Aeryon Wellness. We are a female-founded and Canadian-owned company, which is me. A portion of every bottle sold is donated to the Downtown Eastside Women's Shelter. And I've been doing that since I started the brand 2 years ago. We started in 2019. So I'm really proud of that, about creating a brand that not only supports consumers with good quality, incredible ingredients, scientifically formulated products, but also then to support retailers that can get behind our products, and then also support women in need. And last but not least, we are proudly Canadian as well. So on that note, I know Jen's probably been feverishly answering all questions. She is awesome. And so I'm going to jump into the chat. And if anybody has any questions, thank you so much. Well, I also thank you guys for taking the time tonight. I know there's a lot of things we can all be doing on a, well, maybe not because, lockdown, but still there's stuff we could be doing. We could be outside. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. I'm so glad you attended tonight. Thank you so much. Supplements, I recommend what I take daily. Honestly, I take a greens every single day. Every single day I take a greens. I take Lose It. I just take one because I just use it for a pre-workout. I take it every single morning. I take one of these. If I find my energy is a little lower, I'll take one in the afternoon. And I take Reclaim, the hormonal balancing product. There's 60 in here. It's 2-month serving. It's, I believe, the most comprehensive hormonal product on the market today. So we have Reclaim as well. Those are my 3 that I take all the time. Prevent loose. What can you do to eat to prevent loose skin? I would probably look at protein as well, a collagen. You might want to look at that, having a collagen. I fast 17 to 23 hours a day. Yes, good for you, Beverly. That's awesome. And once you get into it, that's the thing. Once you get into it, it becomes easier. Adrian, what I said, if you've had your gallbladder removed, you want to get an ox bile digestive enzyme. So Prairie Natural has the bile force, and that will support your body when you start eating food. When you start eating food with fat, sorry. Reclaim is hormonal balancing. So with Reclaim, I'll give you a brief summary. It not only supports your estrogen to progesterone balance, but it also helps support your liver to detoxify excess estrogen metabolites. But we've done additional things in here. So now we have DIM, we have calcium glucarate, green tea extract. We've added St. John's wort, which is a powerful antidepressant. So you feel this in about 15 minutes. Your mood is uplifted, you feel better. Then we've added white yam as well and chastery in here. And then we have zinc and astragalus. So it's just, it has so many amazing ingredients in here. Love this product. Sorry, rheumatoid arthritis, and I tend to eat when I'm depressed. Can I go into flexible fasting? I would think you could go into flexible fasting, Paula, but I would probably talk to your doctor as well. If you are working with a naturopath or a doctor, I would think you could go into flexible fasting too. And then I missed the last question. You can't eat any pepper. Hold on, was that? Is there any other appetite? You could actually, Garcinia gambocha helps with appetite as well. And then also upping your fiber too. I would really look at upping your fiber with every meal. But yeah, Garcinia helps, and then green coffee bean could help too. For bottom itching, I don't know what that is. Why do fermented foods bloat me? Well, that might be where you need a digestive enzyme. Fermented foods shouldn't bloat you as much though, because those should actually be helping that. But you could try a good digestive enzyme. That would be my suggestion. Key for splitting nails, collagen. And what's the key for belly fat and fat bloat? Well, bloating, that's where I talked a little bit about the Water Be Gone, right? Water Be Gone's great for that. Are the pills big? Good question. I don't think they're that big. I mean, I don't know if that, I don't think they're that big. Right? I managed to do it. You could put it in your smoothie, but I probably would just pop it. Anyways, on that note, I believe I have 15 new messages here. Okay. Papaya and pineapple. You could definitely take papaya and pineapple. I think the digestive enzymes are more concentrated. You have a problem with pills. I totally get that. Well, then definitely you could do the superfoods as well. But yeah, you can take biotin and silica as well for breaking nails. That's true too. Thanks, Beverly. Is there a link to the online explanation to fasting? There will be. You will be able to get this talk as well. So this talk will be sent to you guys. Will be able to watch it. So on that note, I think, are there any liquid or powders? I think I'm going to be, it's almost 5 here. And I just want to thank you all for coming tonight. You can also, I was going to say too, if you want to follow me, we are on Instagram with Aeryon Wellness and also myself with my little munchkin there. Yes, we will be sending this by mail. So you can follow us. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. What was the prize? The prize is a Lose It and a Water Be Gone for free. That's what she's winning. So thank you so much. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can always contact me on Aeryon Wellness or Aeryon Ashlie. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic night. And thank you so much for your time. And hopefully I'll see you guys all soon with a seminar, another seminar soon. All right, let me go up here. Where's my little thing there? There we go. Bye, everybody.